Okay, so I wanted to talk about this little side topic that's related to the previous video I just did on value and power in the hierarchy. Sometimes you make a purchase of something because you think you need it or want it, and then you don't really use it, and then it becomes trash. Has this happened? A lot of the things in your house might fit under this category. I would say that being an adult, one of the requirements is understanding when something is trash and then being able to let go of it. I think many people do not qualify as adults according to this criteria because things can become trash almost as soon as you buy it. A lot of times you purchase things not because you actually really need it, like your survival depends upon it, or it would give you your highest vibrational outcome, but it gives you a sense of security, correct? I mean, that's why we go to Costco. I mean, I love Costco, but you probably don't need all of that stuff at this very moment. And then in some ways, especially if you buy enough or too much, it just becomes excessive energy stuck in your house. And if it's not fresh anymore, it doesn't feel the same, right? And so it's really interesting because this has nothing to do with how much something costs. So if you buy toilet paper today and you use it 5 years from today, how do you feel about that versus 5 years from today using toilet paper that you bought not that long ago? When things age, you might think, oh, well, that toilet paper is like evergreen. You know, you should be able to use it in 20 years or whatever. But like, as you know, it will accumulate energy and it'll become old and it will feel kind of like dirty. And so you feel like you're kind of like wiping your ass with trash, right? Let's be real. So there's this idea that things can be too much and you kind of only need things in the moment. And being able to judge that isn't so easy. And what your needs are change from moment to moment. And so I wanted to talk about this idea of, let's say you stock up on, let's say, a lot of toilet paper or something like that. Will you use it? I mean, most likely. But there's this other thing of like, if you buy a year's worth of toilet paper, what does that do to your psychology? Does that make it easier for you to move cities? What if moving cities is for your highest good, right? And it's not just the toilet paper, right? Like everything. So there's a little bit of an aside over there, like how does that change your future outcome based on decisions you're making for yourself that you're spelling the universe and saying, I want to live in this city for at least a year because I bought so much goddamn toilet paper, plus a bunch of other things that would last me a whole year. You know, because I got a deal on it or whatever. You know, there's like an energetic cost that a lot of people don't think about because like it kind of creates a lot of stagnancy. So that's like one side topic that I guess I just want to put out there. But I want to go back to the point, and I need to remember what the point was. Point. Do you remember? Do you remember what I was talking about? Shit. I was talking about the idea that you purchase the idea of something. And so let's just say you buy a year's worth of toilet paper. It's very possible that 1 month's worth is good. And then 11 months worth is starting to slide into the trash category. So what did you buy? You bought 11 months of trash. You bought this idea of safety that your ego needed because it clings onto things and it doesn't feel safe on a very fundamental level. It feels unsafe with only 1 month's worth of toilet paper. So it needs 11 extra months worth of toilet paper to feel safe. That's okay. That's okay. But you have to understand what you're doing. And are you taking the best care of yourself by buying that much hypothetical toilet paper? And of course, that's a stand-in for like everything, right? You could do it with food. You could do it with relationships. You can do it with a job that's expired a long time ago. You have to understand when things become trash. Do you hear me? Do you understand what I'm saying? And going, no, it's not trash. It's worth the money I paid for it. If you paid $100 for something, you want to think that a year from now, it's still worth $100 because that's what you paid for it. It's become trash. And if you can recognize that, you can let things go much more easily. So don't worry about value loss, like you lost money or something like that. You just have to understand that you were taking care of your ego, like it's like a freaked out child, you know? Like that's what your ego is. It's like a freaked out child, and it's like very demanding. So if your ego demanded 11 months of toilet paper and that's what you paid for, and now it's trash, or the equivalent of, other things you buy, that's okay, don't worry about it. But if you want to, in quotation marks, save money and or have more future possibilities open to you, like you can move to a new city when the universe calls on you to, because you didn't stagnate so much with stuff, then you need to take care of yourself in such a way where your ego can feel calm, because it's not as strong. Or maybe that's not the right way to put it. It's like you can feel calm even though your ego is acting up because it's not as strong. I think that's the better way of putting it. Like you have to mother your ego from a different place. You can't let your ego make decisions for you. So tolerating that feeling of discomfort to the point where it's actually not that uncomfortable, where you can only buy 1 month's worth of toilet paper at a time and you actually feel comfortable, that's healing. So I wanted to put that topic out there, that sometimes you're buying the idea of something and that things become trash really quickly, because of two reasons. They accumulate energy over time and therefore become dirty. And also, your necessity isn't necessary in the moment. If it's not necessary in the moment, it should have low value. Does this make sense to you? If something's not necessary in the moment, it should have no low value. So when you try to cling on to the value of something, especially like the sticker price dollar amount that you paid for it, that's your ego, that's your mind, that's operating on a level that's not related to reality. All right, see you next time.